Hey, what's going on, guys? We're gonna try something new today. So instead of, the more formal informational videos that I do, or, the very unstructured vlogs, we're gonna try just kind of a loose informational video where I don't really have any talking points planned. Don't have, I'm not standing in front of the nice camera. I'm just out giving my dogs a walk. I'm gonna talk about a specific topic. At the end of this, let me know if you like this style of video, because it's one that I could definitely do more often, since I'm not gathering a bunch of research or have specific talking points. I just cover a topic, let you know kind of my opinions on it. But now let's kind of get into it. A lot of you guys know that I'm studying exercise science in college. That's what I'm going to be getting my degree in. And now I have learned a lot of new information from taking these classes. But one thing that's pretty fascinating is not so much that I'm learning a bunch of new stuff, which I am, but I'm also finding out the science or the reasons behind conclusions that I've come to on my own. So when I train, I try to train thoughtfully. I try to take evaluations of what's working, what's not, why certain things are happening. And then of course, then these classes are pretty much explaining why these things that I've observed are happening. And that is what I wanted to talk about today. And as you can see by the title, it has to do with, stress, anxiety, arousal level for maximum performance. So first, let's start off with the thing that I've kind of deduced about myself when it comes to, what works in my training. And I've told my friends this, and they've all thought it was kind of unusual, and that's, on days when I feel super hyped up, I like to listen to calm, relaxing music. I like to listen to The Weeknd, R&B, slow stuff like that. That kind of calms me down.
Come on, puppies. Come on, puppies.
And then on days when I'm feeling, pretty, unmotivated, kind of tired and calm, then I listen to music that hypes me up. And so I'm taking a sports psychology class this semester, and it's explaining why this is happening. And basically what the research has stated is that everybody has an optimal arousal level for sports performance. So if you are understimulated, you won't perform optimally. If you're overstimulated, then that can actually negatively affect performance. In certain scenarios where people feel way too much stress, anxiety, and pressure during a certain situation, like if they're forced to take a game-winning shot at the state championship basketball game. Now, some people, that elevated stress, that elevated arousal will actually help them and they'll perform better, while other people will tend to freeze up and it's just too much for them to handle. And so there's two types of kind of anxiety. There's state anxiety, which is dependent on the events that are happening, such as, that basketball game. And then there's trait anxiety, which is just based on the individual and how naturally anxious they feel to certain situations. So someone like me, I am a naturally more anxious person. It's not a favorable trait to have, but I have to take an honest look at myself. I'm naturally more anxious. And so I have a naturally high trait anxiety, which means that depending on the situation, I will get more anxious quickly just because I have a higher base level of anxiety. And so since everybody has this optimal, arousal zone, anxiety and arousal are pretty much linked. So if something makes you anxious, it will also kind of arouse you physiologically, increased heart rate, stuff like that. And so everybody has this optimal zone. And so somebody like me who has a higher trait anxiety, higher natural level of anxiety, my optimal level of arousal is going to be lower because it's going to take less to, stimulate me up to that optimal level. Now, certain people, like one of my best friends, who seems like he has to really get hyped up before a lift, he has very low trait anxiety. He doesn't feel anxious, going into, a public, going to a party. He doesn't feel anxiety doing that. It takes a lot for him to, get anxious. So, it's gonna take a lot more stress, external, stress from the situation or the environment for him to get up to that optimal level. So he pretty much always listens to, music that's gonna, come on pups. He's gonna always listen to music that, hypes him up, never music that calms him down, because it's very hard for him to get over that point, that cliff of no return when it comes to anxiety. So, sorry, I had to switch hands. So like I was saying, everybody has that optimal level of stimulation or arousal that can put them in the, place for maximum performance. But what happens is, you can kind of look at it almost linearly, so that more stimulation will increase performance up into a point, and then it dramatically drops off like a cliff. So if you imagine a bar graph, whoa, dog's escaping. If you imagine a bar graph that just goes linearly upward and then just drops off. So hopefully this is all making sense now. To try to sum up everything, what I'm trying to say is, stimulation can benefit or hinder performance. Now, it's just gonna be totally dependent on the individual and what works for you. So somebody like me, I need to keep my stimulation low in order to perform best. Other people need to get hyped up and really increase the stimulation. That way they can be stimulated enough to perform maximally. And so what you have to do is you have to find out what works best for you. Are you somebody who is naturally anxious and can't handle a lot of stimulation, or are you somebody who needs a lot? And then what you need to do is find out ways how to alter your stimulation state. So somebody like me who gets overly stimulated easily, and that actually hinders my performance, I need to find ways to calm myself down, bring myself back down to that optimal level of performance. Now, other people who can't seem to get stimulated enough, you need to find techniques on how to do that. So whether that's through music, through breathing, through, mental imagery, through self-talk, all these ways can be, done through both. It's just how you do them. For me, breathing techniques that might relax me, music that will relax me to bring me down. So some people are gonna need to be brought down. Other people are gonna need to brought up to reach their maximum level of performance. And figuring out what works best for you, figuring out what level of stimulation can help you produce optimal results will take you to the next level of performance. Now, obviously, I haven't nailed that down. There was a time, I talked about it before, I used to be like 200 pounds, and I felt like I was going up in weight every single day, and I was so in tune with myself mentally at that point in my life that I knew exactly what I had to do to perform my best that day. And if you can perform optimally every single day, just think how that can transform your results. And so a lot of this weightlifting, bodybuilding, whatever it is, a lot of it is mental. You go in some days and you don't feel like doing anything, and then you just can't lift the weight. Well, you need to find a way to bring yourself up, to stimulate yourself in a way that you'll be able to, do what you're capable of. And then other times you're feeling so overwhelmed, all you can think about is the stress from school or work. You need to zone yourself out, you need to relax, and you need to get the job done. And if you can master this, then you can go a lot farther. And obviously this can be applied to other areas of your life, not just lifting weights, doing work in school, doing work for your career, just certain situations, being able to know at what frequency basically you perform best at. But I think I've rambled on enough. Hopefully you guys got what I'm trying to say. Now, if you guys are interested on more of this stuff, you can Google, relaxation techniques, or even Google this whole topic in general, optimum states of arousal, stuff like that, sports psychology. But if you guys like this style of video where I just kind of ramble on about a topic, I can do this very easily because I don't have to do multiple takes. I don't have to plan anything out. It's pretty quick, and now that my schedule is getting more busy with school and then pretty soon work, this will be an easy type video for me to do. Let me know in the comment section below your opinion on this topic, your opinion on this video. Hopefully if you enjoyed this, maybe hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.